Hello, my crafty friends, and welcome to Colleen's Craft Closet, where I pull out my forgotten stamps, my dies that I haven't used in a long time, old paper collections, sometimes my new inspiration, and I create cards or layouts or embellishments. And so a video ago, and I'll put the link to it below, I took my theme park collections and I broke them down to put the paper back into color rainbow because I knew that it wasn't being used because I don't go to theme parks. And when I saw these colors, the reds, the yellows, the blues and the blacks and the balloons, I immediately thought of some birthday photos. So today I'm going to show you how I went and took this paper collection and made several page kits. And so I'm going to kind of set the paper off to the side so it's easier for me to pull from and get my first set of photos out to kind of show you what I was looking at. So here in my photos, you can see we got blue, red, yellow, black, and those are the main colors. And so this was a birthday party last year in 2025 for me at a hibachi grill, and I really wanted to get these photos documented. So the first thing I thought of, and there will be 2 pages that are going to coordinate for this. The first thing I thought of was this balloon paper. I thought, oh, these photos are going to look really good on this balloon paper. And I have 2 pieces of that paper, so I thought I'd do 2 layouts. And sometimes it's easier for me to see how it's going to look if I go ahead and put it on a little piece of white paper or it already has a white background. And so I thought, well, I would like to then kind of separate it a little bit, and I went looking through. So I'm going to need some yellow or some red or some black to help separate the photos from that busy background. And so I'm gonna pull in, I think, this yellow and maybe this black, possibly a red. I only have a couple reds. Yeah, I think that's what I am going to pull in for that. And so that will be my first page kit. And the other thing I do with my collections is let me see if I can get this in screen. It's probably gonna look best. Maybe it's hard to fit that totally in screen, but you'll get the idea of it. I have containers that I can put the embellishments into different categories, and I have real small things, I have titles, and I have icons, and then here I have more special things like travel, theme park, and this is all magic, about magical day. And so I separated them out so it'll be easier for me to pull some embellishments. So for this one, I am going to pull out some of the balloons. So let's see if you can see those a little bit clearer if I put them up there. Some of the balloons, some of the cameras, maybe that little girl. And so that is going to be my first page kit. And so I haven't put page kits together as a video before, so I'm going to kind of try my best to go through it with you. The second page kit that I'd like to make is going to be a companion to that first one. So I'm going to pull the same paper, but this time I'm going to give it a diagonal stripe behind it, which I may use on the first layout also. And I got a couple group photos from that particular day. And let's see if I can find them. Yes, here they are. I have a couple of group photos from that day, and I will probably put the group photos on white paper first. So I'll probably put them on a little bit of white paper. I always frame my photos in white. And then I'll go back over there and pick one of the yellows. I'll either do a yellow That looks a little bit too busy, so I probably will most likely pull this yellow, one or the other, when I go to make the layout. And I'll make the decision when I do that, and I'll put some more of those balloons and some more of those cameras, and so that will be my second page kit. All right, I have a third set of photos. Probably be easier if I try to keep some of the paper here so that you can kind of see what I'm going for. It's kind of hard to keep all this in screen the way I set up my film, but I'm going to try to. My next set of papers is going to be some of the same photos. That first set will go in my nephew's album. This will go into my album. And here are some more of the people. And here I'm going to do a grid. And on that grid, I'll probably also want white and some black. I really like that. And the other thing I will want is, I think I want to work with this black and white stripe, because I have 2 pages that I'm going to want to do. And this black and white stripe, I really like it because it just says party. And I am going to move those back out of the way because they're just way too much for me to handle. So I like this. You know, you have some black and white. This is going to be a grid on this side of the page. This was from the paper pad. This black and white stripe kind of reads party to me, and I really kind of like how that's looking. And then I probably will pull in an accent color, and so I will look for another color to help separate it. And I think I have some solid cardstock. I have a lot of solid cardstock that I am either going to start using for cards or for matting my backgrounds. And this blue, though it doesn't exactly match this one, is a pretty good mix. And so I'll put some there. I may put a little bit more here behind the photos, but I like how that is looking. And then I'll pull some embellishments in from the embellishments that I have put out. So that's a third set of layouts. I'm going to do a very similar companion page, so a blue background and another one of the stripes. And this time I have, let's see, a bunch of the other group of the people. And so here you can see them. And I think I'm going to put them like this and like this so they can be a companion page to this one. And then I would like to, pull in that blue color, and then I will pull in a little bit of the yellow, just to give it a little bit of pop of color and some separation. I kind of like that, some of that yellow, and probably give me some of this. Well, I already have, I was going to pull this one, but I already have dots in that background, so I don't want dots, or at least those big dots. Probably will go for this balloons, but I think I'm going to go ahead and cut some of them up. Or look for some in my stickers and in my die cuts, because I need just a little bit more. I don't really like the 2 blues together, though they will work. So I will kind of decide that on the day that I put that together. So that is, I think, number 4. I have some more photos from that particular day. And as I said, some of these layouts are going to go in my album and some are going to go in my nephew Timothy's album. And here I have the chef. And I have 8 photos. And so I'm thinking of doing a double page spread of him cooking. And so I have these 5 and I have these 3. I'll probably Put them something like this. And what I will go ahead and do is I'm going to look for, what do I want for the background? And what do I want for coordinating? And I think I want to do a solid red for the big background. So I'm going to do a solid red in the background. That helps some of the red dishes and the sauce kind of stand out a little bit. And then from the paper, I'm going to go ahead and pull a plaid. Let's see. I want a big piece of black and maybe yellow and red. So let's see what we can come up with. And so I'm looking for, on this one, on the second half of the page, which is, because this is mostly going to be a grid with very little. And I have a sketch here from Scrapbook Generations, and I pulled in this stripe. And that takes up a good bit of that page, except a little bit of paper. So what I'm going to do is work on the other side of the page, which has a little bit more decoration. And I know if this is too jumpy, then I'll have to see what I can do about changing how I film it. But I'm just trying to see if I can kind of show you, I broke that collection down and now I want to work with it. And so here I have some photos from dinner, and I think I would like to make some banners over here to the side. And I want 3 different pieces of paper, and I don't need a full-size paper for that. And so for this one, I'm thinking, let's do a red. Let's do a big dot. That kind of screams birthday. And let's do a yellow. Let's kind of see if I can get that back on screen. I have a very small screen area here. So yeah, these 3, I think, will make nice little banners over here to the side. Down here at the bottom, it's going to be blocked in with the paper strips and some solid paper. And I think the only other thing I need is kind of that solid paper that's going to give me some definition off the photos. And I think I'm going to pull in this red plaid right here. So the photos down at the bottom are going to be separated from the top photos by just a 6x6, maybe strip by 6x12, excuse me, strip of this paper. And I'm going to pull in these stripes, and that is going to be another page kit. And then I think I had one more photo that I had found that I had wanted to scrapbook, and let's see if I can still locate it. And it's this one of my great-nephew Lucas, and it's a basketball picture. And it has black and red, so it also made me think of this collection. So it's a theme park collection, and I'm using it for birthdays, which is pretty close to what we think of, but now I'm using it for basketball. And so with basketball, black and red and stars, I thought of immediately. And so when I went to look at this, I remembered, I go through these collections, and I'm going to be looking for, let's see, red. Well, we have some red stars. That would work, possibly. We have, oh, I like this better, this tan one. I like this better, this tan one, because you can see it has black, or it's not dark navy blue. It might be, but it almost looks black here. So I don't want stars and stars, but I will like that tan. And then I think I'll look for a blue and a gold and a red to help pull that out. So what I would want to do is, I want a yellow or a gold. I can put that kind of behind the layout, because I'll probably separate Just do a little bit of black, a little bit of white, a little bit of black, and then I think I will also have a thin layer of black between the tan multicolored stars in this yellow diagonal. And I like that, but I still need probably some red and some blue. And so I'll look for the small sheets that I have. And let's see what I have left in some of my small papers. The small papers, I have a couple different reds here. I thought I had a red grid. I know I like this black. And I thought there was a red grid. Let me look over here and see where it's gone to. I know I have a large piece of paper with that's a red grid. Maybe I pulled it in for something else. But I know there was a small red grid paper. And so you have to excuse me while I hunt. It's not easy filming one of these, so this is my first, so you're going to have to kind of bear with me. There it is. That's the one I'm looking for. I really like that red grid, and then I can even still use some yellow paper up there at the top, up there also, to help distinguish his photo from the other ones. I can take and I can pull up some of that diagonal a little bit also, so I'll have some of it here because I'll take the center out, and I'll have some of it behind, and that will be, I think that's my 6th or 7th page kit. And then what I did is I went through my cut aparts, and I cut them apart, and some of these I will use you can see here, I'm going to cut this probably apart, and I can use that like on one of the birthday ones. I'd like to use this probably on one of the birthday layouts, these stripe borders. This one I will look for stars. So I'll go through my embellishments, and here I have my little embellishment tray, and here's my smaller embellishments. And I have a lot of stars in here. I have a yellow star. I have another yellow star. And I have this cluster that might work. And I thought there was one more bigger star in here. Ah, here's another star. And the other thing I had were these particular things, and forgive the glare, but I'm going to use some of these, and I probably take some of the dimension off it and put it in the different birthday layouts. And I can always use these for my small accents. But this one, I'm starting to think, I had a bunch of frames, and I don't tend to use frames, so I'm trying to challenge myself to utilize the frames. I can go ahead and use some of the black frame for this, and some of the red frame, I think, for this side, maybe, and maybe underneath, and then kind of spread the stars around. I could look for some bigger stars, but I think the frames are going to be my large part of my embellishment. And then I will have a journaling box, and that has some stars on it, so it kind of ties the star theme together. And that's how I go about starting to build my kit, and I work out the fine details when I get there. So from the collection I had the other day, the theme park collection, I first broke it down into individual papers, and I sorted them out to ones that I would use in my general stash, and then ones that I would use still for theme park, and there wasn't very much left. And now what I have left is this, which I will then probably put into my rainbow color. Now that I've made several page kits out of it, I will probably take these and put them into my rainbow color. Once I'm done making these layouts, I'll take these 2 trays and I will package them back up and put them in the appropriate places. The other thing that I tend to do is the sticker sheets. I wanted to show you what I do with the sticker sheets. I know this video is going to be long, but some of you might be interested in how I actually worked with that collection. I have this little sticker book, and they're from Amazon, and they're restickable. So I can peel the sticker off and put it back on and use it for later. And so what I did with this is I took the stickers. I'm going to get to the appropriate section. I took the stickers from that theme park and I put them out in rainbow color, the pink, the red, the yellow, the blue. So when I'm finishing up these layouts and I need another small touch to go with it, I can look very quickly in here and find the color that I'm looking for, because that will help me the most. And then you can see here I have the black and the whites and the neutrals. And then I put the cameras on one particular page, or say cheese, because that kind of goes with the cameras. So if I'm looking for a camera or an embellishment, I know an icon where to look for it. Here I put some of the bigger titles. So if I'm looking for a title for the page or something to kind of go along with the page for words, I would start looking here. Here's some more balloon elements. And so when I'm doing those pages, I think I have like 4 different ones on my birthday, I will look here for more embellishments. Here I had put all the treats, you know, the popcorn, the candy, the hot dogs, the pretzels, the cupcakes. And when I am doing a layout that requires those, I will look here. I also have a food kit where I have a lot of these different types of embellishments already. And here I put like the ice cream and some of the fruit. Travel, I separated out. And so there are the travel stickers. And here are some more travel stickers like bikes and cars and the buildings. And then magic memories. Trying to figure out what to do with magic. I have some ideas of what I can do besides the obvious thing. And so that's kind of the end of it. This is just a little book that I create. I have one this is my summer and basically my summer and my winter book and my season book. I have some of these for different topics. I have a couple of them, and I use them to help me. So hopefully today you get a better understanding of how I go about creating my page kits. I'm going to put my layouts together, and then I'll come back on in a different video and show you what the layouts turned out like. Thank you, my friends, for tuning in. Thank you for joining me, and I hope that you will be able to take your crafty supplies and rediscover, recreate, and reimagine them one layout or one card at a time. Bye, my friends.